Welcome back to my channel. Today, we explore the value of specific coins, the top 5 most valuable USA Lincoln Wheat penny coins value in today's market. So let's get started. First up, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark. This coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint and is an interesting piece both historically and in terms of its current market value. We will explore its history, mintage condition, and what it can be worth in today's coin market when found in good condition. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck during a time when the United States was experiencing post-war economic growth. The Philadelphia Mint, which does not place a mint mark on its coins, produced hundreds of millions of these cents. In fact, more than 256 million 1953 pennies came out of Philadelphia alone. Because of this high mintage, the coin is not considered rare in the absolute sense. However, like many coins, its value can vary significantly depending on its condition, rarity of specific varieties, and demand among collectors. When we talk about condition in coin collecting, we use a grading scale that ranges from poor to mint state, good condition. In the context of coin grading, refers to a coin that has significant wear from circulation, but still retains all major details. For the 1953 penny, a coin in good condition will show clear outlines of Lincoln's portrait, although much of the finer details such as the hair and facial features will be worn down. The reverse design will have visible wheat stalks, but the lines may be faint and smooth. Despite the wear, these coins remain appealing to collectors who value them for their history and as part of a complete wheat penny collection. For a 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in good condition, the value is primarily influenced by its copper content and collector interest. Each of these coins is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. With the price of copper fluctuating over time, the intrinsic metal value is often close to or slightly above 1 cent. But U.S. laws prohibit melting pennies for their metal content. Therefore, the collectible value is what matters most to collectors and sellers. In the current market, a circulated 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny from Philadelphia in good condition typically sells for around 5 to 10 cents. While this may not seem like much, it is important to remember that this is a common date in the wheat penny series. The relatively low price reflects the fact that many examples are still in circulation or have been preserved by collectors over the years. However, if the coin is in better condition, say, in very fine, extremely fine, or even uncirculated condition, the value can rise significantly. In uncirculated condition with full mint luster, some examples can sell for several dollars or more, especially if they are free from spots, scratches, or other damage. Another factor that can influence the value of a 1953 penny is the presence of errors or varieties. Sometimes coins are struck with doubling, off-center designs, or other minting mistakes that make them far more valuable. A doubled die, for example, can increase the price dramatically if it is a recognized variety that collectors are seeking. While such errors are not common for the 1953 Philadelphia penny, they do exist, and finding one can be a pleasant surprise for any collector. It is also worth noting that coin values are subject to change over time. Market demand, metal prices, and collector trends can all affect the selling price of a coin. For example, during times when copper prices are high or when there is renewed interest in wheat pennies, prices for even common dates, like the 1953, can experience a slight bump. Online marketplaces, coin shops, and collector forums often reflect these fluctuations in real time. If you are looking to buy or sell a 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, the best approach is to research recent sales for coins in the same condition. Auction sites and coin dealers can provide a good sense of the going rate. When selling, keep in mind that dealers often pay less than retail prices because they need to resell the coins at a profit. On the other hand, selling directly to another collector can yield a higher return, though it may take longer to find a buyer. Many people who collect wheat pennies do so not for profit but for the enjoyment of building a complete set. The 1953 penny from Philadelphia is an essential part of any wheat penny collection, and even though it is not rare or extremely valuable, it has historical significance. It is a snapshot of American history, representing the final decade of the wheat penny's production before the design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. In summary, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is a common, yet charming coin from the mid-20th century. In good condition, its value in today's market is modest, usually around 5 to 10 cents, but its worth to a collector can be far greater as part of a full set. Uncirculated examples, or coins with notable mint errors, can fetch much higher prices. While this coin may not make you rich, it offers an accessible and enjoyable entry point into coin collecting. Its combination of history, design, and affordability ensures that it remains a staple in the collections of both beginners and experienced numismatists, whether you find one in your pocket change or purchase one from a dealer. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny from Philadelphia is a small but enduring piece of America's numismatic heritage. Next up, the 1952D Lincoln Wheat Penny, especially in a full damage or heavily worn condition, and explore its background, factors affecting its value, and what it can realistically sell for in today's market. The 1952D Wheat Penny was minted in Denver, Colorado, as indicated by the small d mint mark under the date. That year, the Denver Mint produced a very large number of pennies, over 746 million. This high mintage means the coin is not considered rare in general circulation. Many examples still exist, and most are found in circulated condition. Because of this, the 1952D penny is usually affordable for beginner collectors, especially in lower grades. However, condition plays the most important role in determining value. The higher the grade, the more a collector is willing to pay. Coins in uncirculated, mint state condition can bring in much higher prices than those that have been heavily worn or damaged. When we say full damage condition, we are talking about a coin that has lost much of its original detail due to wear, corrosion, scratches, or other environmental effects. Damage could include being bent, having deep gouges, heavy discoloration, or even signs of cleaning that have harmed the surface. Such damage greatly reduces collector interest because numismatics, the study and collection of coins, places a high value on preservation. While a damaged coin can still be interesting historically, it is generally valued far less than a example of the same coin. The obverse, or front, of the 1952D penny features the bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty to his left, the year 1952 to his right, and the mint mark D just below the date. Above Lincoln's head is the motto "In God We Trust." The reverse side has the denomination 1 cent in large letters, the words United States of America below it, and E pluribus unum above, with 2 wheat stalks curving along the edges. On a heavily worn coin, many of these details may be flattened, and the wheat stalks might be barely visible. For a coin in full damage condition, rarity is not the selling point. Instead, its value comes mostly from its base metal content, which is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. A 1952D penny weighs about 3.11 grams. The copper content does have a small intrinsic value, and with current copper prices, this is often only a few cents. In fact, because of United States law, it is illegal to melt pennies for their metal value, so their worth in circulation remains nominal. In today's coin market, collectors will typically only pay more than face value for damaged coins if there is something unusual about them, such as an error from the mint. Errors could include off-center strikes, doubled dies, or clipped planchettes. However, a regular 1952D penny in full damage condition without any error will usually be valued between 1 and 3 cents. In some cases, a dealer might pay a little more if they sell inexpensive coins to beginner collectors or use them for educational purposes. But generally, such coins are worth more for sentimental or historical reasons than for investment. It is important to note that grading systems used by professional organizations like the American Numismatic Association rank coins from poor, which is heavily worn and barely identifiable, to mint state, which is perfect and uncirculated. A full damage condition 1952D penny often falls into the poor or fair category. In this range, there is almost no collector premium because the coin is common and the design is barely visible. Even though the coin is over 70 years old, age alone does not automatically mean high value. Market demand for wheat pennies has remained steady over the years because they are popular among hobbyists. New collectors often start with a set of Lincoln Wheat cents, which can be completed without spending a large amount of money. This makes common date coins like the 1952D readily available and affordable. For someone just starting out, even a damaged coin might be appreciated as part of a learning collection. But serious collectors aiming for high-grade examples will usually pass on damaged pieces. If you have a 1952D penny in full damage condition, its realistic market value today will almost always be just 1 cent if spent as currency, or a few cents if sold to a collector or dealer who wants it for bulk inventory. Online marketplaces may list these coins for slightly more, but sales are often inconsistent, and the final price depends on finding a buyer willing to purchase a damaged example. Unless it has a rare mint error, there is no strong investment potential for such a coin. However, that does not mean your coin has no worth at all. For many people, a wheat penny is a tangible link to the past. The 1952D pennies circulated during a time when the U.S. economy was recovering from World War II. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president-elect, and copper was still the main metal used in cents. Holding a coin from that era can spark curiosity about history, economics, and the art of coin design. In that way, its true value might be more sentimental or educational than financial. In conclusion, the 1952D Lincoln Wheat Penny is a common coin with a high mintage, and in full damage condition, it carries little to no collector premium. Its market value today is generally between 1 and 3 cents unless it features a notable mint error. While this may not seem impressive in terms of dollars, the coin can still hold meaning as a collectible piece of history, a starter coin for a new hobbyist, or a small reminder of the past. When it comes to collecting, sometimes the story behind the coin is just as important as the price tag attached to it. Next up, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, specifically in good condition, and how much it is worth in today's market. Even though this coin is over 70 years old, it is still a favorite for coin enthusiasts and those who are fascinated by American currency history. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark was minted in Philadelphia. The absence of a mint mark tells us it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place a mint mark on pennies during that time. In 1951, millions of these coins were made, but many have since been lost, damaged, or worn out from circulation. The coins that survive today can be worth more than face value, especially if they are in collectible condition. The coin's obverse side, or front, features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design first appeared in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it continued on US pennies for decades. The 1951 version still carried the same image of Lincoln, along with the words, "In God We Trust," across the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1951 on the right. Because we are discussing the version without a mint mark, the space below the date is blank. The reverse side of the coin displays the classic wheat ears design, which is why these coins are called wheat pennies. The reverse reads 1 cent in the center, with United States of America below it, Anni Pluribus Unum across the top. 2 stalks of wheat flanked the words, giving the coin its distinctive look. This reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958, after which the U.S. Mint replaced it with the Lincoln Memorial design. When evaluating the value of a 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, the condition of the coin is one of the most important factors. Collectors use a grading scale to determine a coin's state of preservation. Since the request here is for a coin in good condition, we should be clear about what that means. A coin in good condition will show heavy wear, and most fine details will be worn smooth. On the obverse, Lincoln's hair and coat lines may be faint or completely blended into the surface. On the reverse, the wheat stalks will appear flattened, and many lines may be missing. The words will still be readable, but the coin will clearly have been used for many years in circulation. Because millions of these pennies were made in Philadelphia in 1951, they are not considered rare in lower grades. In good condition, their value is mainly for collectors filling a spot in a Lincoln Wheat Penny set rather than for investment purposes. That being said, the value is still higher than face value because of their age and historical significance. As of today's market, a 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in good condition typically sells for around 5 to 10 cents. Some may sell for slightly more if they have attractive toning, interesting circulation marks, or if sold in a complete set. While that value may not seem high, it is important to remember that coin collecting is about more than immediate profit. Many collectors enjoy the history and the story behind each coin. A coin like the 1951 Wheat Penny connects us to a period in U.S. history when these coins were part of everyday life. In 1951, the average American could still buy a small piece of candy for 1 cent, and pennies were worth enough to matter in daily transactions. The fact that a coin from that era still exists in your hands today is part of what makes it collectible. It is also worth noting that while a 1951 penny in good condition is modestly priced, higher grade examples can be worth much more. Coins in uncirculated condition, with no wear and full original luster, can be worth a few dollars each. A coin graded in mint state by a professional grading service, especially with a high grade like MS65 or above, could reach values of $5 to $15 or more. Rare errors or varieties, such as doubled dies or off-center strikes, can also significantly raise a coin's value. However, these varieties are less common and require careful examination or professional authentication. For those who own a 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny in good condition, the best way to preserve it is to store it in a dry, cool environment, away from moisture and direct sunlight. Using a coin flip, holder, or album designed for coins can prevent further wear and protect the coin's surface. Cleaning the coin is not recommended, as cleaning can damage the surface and reduce its collectible value. Collectors and buyers generally prefer coins in their natural state, even if they show signs of circulation. If you are looking to sell a 1951 Wheat Penny, local coin shops, coin shows, and online marketplaces are common venues. Selling to a coin dealer will usually bring a lower price since dealers need to resell the coin at a profit, but it offers convenience and quick payment. Selling directly to collectors through auctions or online listings may bring a slightly higher price, but it often requires more effort and time. In conclusion, The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is a piece of American history that remains affordable for collectors. In good condition, its value today is modest, usually around 5 to 10 cents, but its worth goes beyond money. It represents a time when the wheat design was still in use and when pennies played a bigger role in everyday life. Whether you keep it as part of a collection, sell it to a fellow collector, or simply appreciate it as a link to the past, it is a coin that deserves recognition. Holding one is like holding a small piece of history in your hand, and that is something any collector can value. Next up, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is one of the final issues in the long-running Wheat Penny series, which began in 1909 and concluded in 1958. The lack of a mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. For collectors and enthusiasts, this year holds a special place in US coinage history because it marks the last time the wheat design appeared on the reverse of the penny before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. This change makes the 1958 issue historically significant even in normal circulated conditions. When talking about the value of a 1958's Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, it's important to first understand its mintage and historical context. In 1958, the Philadelphia Mint produced more than 252 million of these pennies. This large production means the coin is not considered rare, and many examples are still available today in various grades, from heavily circulated pieces to uncirculated and proof-like examples. However, despite its common nature, there is still a market for these coins among collectors, especially for those who want to complete a full wheat penny set or preserve the last year of the design. The design of the 1958 penny is the same as other Lincoln Wheat cents from previous years. On the obverse, it features a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is the motto, "In God We Trust," with the word liberty on the left side and the date 1958 on the right. Since it lacks a mint mark, it is understood to have been struck in Philadelphia. On the reverse, the coin shows two wheat stalks curving inward along each side, framing the denomination 1 cent and the words United States of America. Above this is the motto E pluribus unum. When considering value, the coin's condition is the most important factor. Coins in uncirculated or mint state condition with no wear are naturally worth more than those that have circulated for decades. For a 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in normal black color shade, which usually indicates heavy circulation, the value is lower compared to brighter, less worn coins. This black or dark-toned appearance often comes from oxidation, dirt buildup, or long-term storage in poor conditions. While the coin still holds interest, its collectible value is generally closer to its base market price for circulated wheat pennies. In today's market, the average circulated 1958 no mint mark wheat penny in very worn or black shaded condition is typically valued at around 3 to 10 cents. This price range reflects its status as a common date wheat penny with little numismatic premium. Dealers often buy them in bulk at just a few cents each, mainly for resale to hobbyists who purchase mixed wheat penny rolls. However, even in such modest condition, the historical importance of the coin still makes it appealing to beginner collectors or anyone interested in the Lincoln Wheat series. 4 coins in slightly better condition, where details in Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks are still visible, but the color remains dark. Values can climb slightly higher, often between 10 and 25 cents. If a coin has only light wear and still has some original red or brown luster, despite the black tone, the value can sometimes reach 50 cents or more, depending on buyer interest. But the real jump in price happens for high-grade examples with sharp details and full luster, especially those certified by professional grading services. In mint state condition, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark can be worth anywhere from $1 to $5 for common grades like MS62, MS63. Higher grades such as MS65 can sell for $10 to $15. And exceptional examples graded MS67 by PCGS or NGC can bring prices of $50 or more. However, these high-grade prices only apply to coins with strong eye appeal and original red color, not the dark-toned circulated examples we are focusing on here. It's also worth noting that there are some rare varieties and errors known for the 1958 penny, such as doubled die obverse. These rare error coins can be worth hundreds of dollars or more, but they are extremely scarce and not typically found in average circulated coins. The famous 1958 doubled die penny, for example, is one of the rarest Lincoln cents and can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. But it is a completely different category than the normal black shade circulated coins that are common in today's market. For collectors, even a low-value coin, like the 1958 no mint mark wheat penny, in worn condition can be meaningful. It serves as a tangible piece of American history, representing the end of the wheat design era. Many people find these coins in old jars, boxes, or inherited collections and are curious about their worth. While the financial value might be small, the historical and sentimental value can be much greater. It's also a great coin to use when teaching children about coin collecting, history, and the transition from one coin design to another. In summary, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark, in normal black shade and circulated condition, is not rare and usually sells for only a few cents above face value. Its worth today is primarily in its historical significance as the last year of the Wheat Penny series. Collectors who want a higher return would need to find uncirculated or rare era varieties. But for most people holding one of these coins, it's a small yet charming link to the past. Whether kept as a personal keepsake, sold in bulk with other wheat pennies, or used as an entry point into numismatics, the 1958 penny continues to capture interest more for its story than its price. Next up, the 1937 penny without a mint mark holds a special place for collectors and history enthusiasts. In this video, we will talk about the story of this coin, what makes it interesting, and most importantly, its value in today's market. When found in extra fine condition, the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In that year, the Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark on its coins. So if you have a 1937 penny and do not see a mint mark under the date it was made in Philadelphia, over 309 million of these pennies were produced that year. So it is not the rarest Lincoln cent, but condition and demand among collectors play a large role in its value. The coin's design features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, created by Victor David Brenner. The reverse shows two stalks of wheat on either side, with the words 1 cent and United States of America in the center, along with the motto E pluribus unum above. This wheat design was used from 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. The 1937 penny was struck in bronze, composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which gives it its characteristic reddish-brown color when new WO. Over time, these coins often tone to a darker brown. Extra fine condition, often graded as XF or EF, means the coin has light wear on the highest points of the design, but all major features are sharp and clear. For the 1937 penny, this would mean Lincoln's hair details are still visible. His cheek and jawline are well defined, and the wheat stalk lines on the reverse are distinct. While there is some flattening from circulation, the coin still has much of its original detail and eye appeal. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins in this grade, because they are far less common than heavily worn examples. In today's market, the value of a 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition can vary depending on demand, copper prices, and overall collector interest. On average, such a coin sells for around 50 cents to $1. Some particularly attractive examples with strong eye appeal, original luster, or rich toning might sell for a bit more, sometimes reaching up to $2 from a buyer who is looking for that perfect coin to fill a spot in their collection. However, for most transactions, a fair retail price today would be about $1. You might be wondering why a coin that is nearly 90 years old is not worth more. The answer comes down to how many were made and how many survived. Since over 300 million were minted, many have survived to this day, and even extra fine examples are not extremely rare. In fact, many rolls and bags of uncirculated 1937 pennies were saved by collectors and coin dealers decades ago. So higher grade examples are still relatively easy to find. When supply is high and demand is steady but not overwhelming, prices stay modest. Still, the 1937 penny, without a mint mark, has strong appeal for those building a complete set of Lincoln Wheat Pennies. It is a coin that connects us to an era between the Great Depression and World War II, when the United States was slowly recovering economically. Each of these pennies passed through the hands of everyday Americans, buying goods when a cent had real purchasing power. In 1937, a single penny could buy a piece of candy or a small portion of food, something that seems remarkable today. Collectors value not just the coin's condition and scarcity, but also the history it represents. The wheat reverse design itself is a nostalgic reminder of early 20th century coinage, and is often the first series new collectors become interested in. Many people begin their numismatic journey by searching through change for wheat pennies, and the 1937 is a frequent find in beginner collections. Discovering one in extra fine condition, however, is much more exciting because it stands out from the usual worn examples. It is also important to note that coin values are influenced by the marketplace. Prices listed in coin guides are just starting points. The actual selling price can depend on where you sell the coin, whether it is to a dealer, at a coin show, or through an online auction. Dealers will typically offer a wholesale price lower than retail, since they need to make a profit when reselling. Private sales between collectors often achieve closer to retail prices, especially if the coin is particularly attractive. For those who have a 1937 wheat penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition, the best way to maximize its value is to make sure it is properly stored and presented. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can reduce its value significantly. Store it in a protective holder to prevent scratches and further wear. If you have multiple coins, keeping them organized and labeled will also help when it comes time to sell or trade. While it is not a high-dollar rarity, the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny in extra fine condition remains a charming and affordable piece of American history. It is accessible to new collectors, while still being interesting to those who appreciate coins for their historical context. Its modest value makes it a coin that can be enjoyed without fear of damaging a major investment. And for many people, that enjoyment is the true reward of coin collecting. In summary, the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark in extra fine condition, typically has a value in today's market of about $1. Sometimes slightly more for particularly nice examples. Its worth comes not only from its copper content and collectible demand, but also from the story it tells of a time long past. Whether you keep it as part of a complete Lincoln cent set or simply as a keepsake, it is a reminder of the artistry, history, and everyday life of America in the late 1930s. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you in next time. Happy collecting!